Alright, well, it's time to tell you about my deck. It's both a imick and an azorius deck. For those of you who don't know, it's blue-green and blue-white. Anyways, so I'll tell you about my lands first, and what I have is 8 gates. Azorius and Simic, of course. 5 islands, 5 forests, and 5 plains. Enchantment, only enchantment, artifact I have is Ring of Thune. When Ring of Thune is equipped, the equipped creature has Vigilance, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 counter on it if equipped creature is white, and you pay 2 converted mana cost to it. Okay, I'll go first off with blue. Dissipate, counter target spell, and if that spell's countered this way, basically exile instead of putting it in the graveyard. I have a Stern Mentor for when I want to mill, somebody. It's only that much land. Unsculpt for when I want to mill the person for nothing at all. Fog Bank if I want to prevent all damage to me. It's a good blocker in Defender War. Dreadwaters if I want to mill the person for a lot. Dream Twist, mill for a lot. Stealer of Secrets. Ooh, Stealer of Secrets. When it deals damage, it gets me to draw a card. Dissipate, yeah, Dissipate. Basically counter it, and basically it happens. Vidalcan Entrancer. I do that, and tap it, and target player puts the top cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. 2 cards, of course. This is unblockable. Soulsworn Spirit is unblockable, and when it enters the battlefield, you detain target creature, which is kind of pointless since it's unblockable. Unless there's 2, of course. Hamlet Captain. Whenever Hamlet Captain attacks or blocks other human creatures you control, get 1/1 until end of turn. Travel Preparations. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature that are 2 target creatures, of course, and you play a flashback cost, which is 1 and white, which is why I have it, and you basically can do it again for the same thing. Staunch-Hearted Warriors, the 2/2, and every time you do an enchantment on it or any spell towards it, it gets 2 1/1 counters on it, which is why it's really good. Rancor. Target creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. Whenever this goes into the graveyard from anywhere, it basically returns back to its owner's hand. Makes it useful. It's undying, isn't it? Unless it's exiled, of course. When Timberland Guide enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, which is useful if I really want to beef up my characters. Avacyn's Pilgrim, only useful for tapping another land, and for a low mana cost. Wreath of Geist, useful for dead creatures. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets XX, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. I've gotten a 10/10 before. That sounds like I suck or whatever, but I also had Rancor on it. Crusaders of Odric. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. Bonds of Faith. Equipped creature gets 2/2, as long as it's a human. Otherwise, it can attack or block, sort of like a pacifism. Guardians of Krasa, Defendor, Exalted, and basically it's a 0/4. Azorius Justiciar, detain up to 2 target creatures. Gets 2 command costs, and it does 2 damage. Sunspire Gatekeepers, which is good for my gates, right over here, in the darkness. When it enters the battlefield, if you control 2 or more gates, put a 2/2 White Knight creature token with Vigilance onto the battlefield. Have another of those. How's the Square Squad? It's a good defender, but also if it does damage, you may pay that much, and if you do, tap target creature an opponent controls. Safe Passage. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and creatures you control this turn. Slayer of the Wicked. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target vampire, zombie, or werewolf. Cloud Shift. this is the bane of a pacifism. Exile target creature control, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Divination, draw 3 cards, 2 cards actually. Urban Evolution, draw 3 cards, target, you may play an additional land this turn. Urban Evolution again. Restore the Peace, this is also good for safe passage. Return each creature that dealt damage this turn to its owner's hand. Ascended Law Mage, flying, hexproof. That's 3/2. 3/2. That many land to play. Urban Evolution, again. Dried Militant. If a sorcery or instant would be put into the graveyard this way, exile it instead. It's just the creature though, so don't worry. Ascended Law Mage, flying, hexproof of course. Search Warrant. Target player reveals his or her hand, and you gain life equal to that hand, to the number of cards in that hand. Nimbus Swimmer, X, and that many land. X 1/1 counters on it with flying. Live Sky Knight, when it enters the battlefield, detain target creature. Talon Sphinx, flying, vigilance. Creatures you control get 1/1 when it attacks as well. It's a 1/5 with flying. And, well, I just want to know basically how I should improve my deck and what I should do to make it better. Also, if there's anything good about it, well, just give me a little note in the comments below. Anyways, bye.